I'm in my husband's
Hey,
office.
Lindsay. So, hey, everyone. Jenny Wise from WiseMind Soul Warrior. And I am so honored and grateful to have Miss Lindsay Withers on with us. And she is one of our beautiful soul sisters and students. And she is also a mentor. So I want to introduce Lindsay. And
Thank
so
you.
if you
Thank you,
could give
Jenny.
a little kind of background on how you and I connected and what brought you to Wise Mind Soul Warrior to the program.
Right. So, I was thinking it's the saying when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and whatever that is that makes the student ready. For me, I was in a dark place of grief, and I was really grasping for some coping skills, and I just needed something to help shift me out of that grief. My mom had just died. And it happened that I happened to be on a beach trip with a friend, a mutual friend of ours, which, at the time I was talking to her about what I wanted, what I needed, where I wanted to go with my yoga work, just telling her everything, just really spilling it. And she's like, "You've got to meet my friend Jenny Wise. Like, this is exactly in perfect alignment with what you're looking for." Like, it was freaking both of us out, because it was just like, oh my God, this is so perfect. So of course, as the universe would have it, that was exactly what I needed at the time. And you happened to have a retreat the following weekend, of course. So, there I was. So and there was a spot, of course. So I just kind of flowed right in, and cried the whole way there and back, knowing like this just, I felt it felt like I'd been like finally like found a solution, something that I could feel myself energetically being pulled out of the funk that I was in. And it had been a really painful few months. And it was nice. I started to see the light and at the end of the tunnel, and just it has continued to align with my healing journey. All the material that we continue to go through with the YTT training, it continues to, again, it's just that alignment. And it's just like, I'm in the perfect flow, and whatever place I'm in my growth, that's when the teaching seems to just fall right in my lap. It's just been, it's blown me away. It's just the biggest, coming out of such a dark place to be in such a complete opposite place. It has taught me how to use the pain and make the pain a part of my, just a part of my healing journey, is how I'm going to be able to help the world. So it's been beautiful. It really has.
Girl, I'm telling you, like, I am such a firm believer, and you know this, in serendipity and divine intervention and higher power and God and all of that. And there was no doubt in my mind, and I know you and I have talked about this, that was divine intervention, because the fact that you talked to Heather and then she shared about, my program, and then the fact that, like you said, the May 1st retreat that was at Morris Peaceland Farms last year, and you were able to be part of that sacred healing ceremony and the burning bowl ceremony that we did. And you were able to connect with the other women. And I'm getting goosebumps talking about this again, because I remember you, without me getting emotional, I remember you being in the back at Morris Peaceland Farms. Like I was kind of like in the front and you were towards the back, kind of chilling, right? Because you were just like, I need my space back here, And I remember coming back and laying hands on you and giving you adjustments. And I remember you also being in like pigeon pose specifically and coming back and laying hands on you. And I remember like the burning bowl ceremony and us like being in that sacred circle. And then you and I did our consultation. So if you want to kind of like, that's a great segue to kind of talk about the consultation and what that was like. Remember when you and I got on the consultation? I remember you were sitting there, I think in your living room or something, and we just started chatting. So share for a minute what that was like. And just to give people a background, Lindsay and I had only met once before we got on a consultation. So we didn't know each other. Like there was no,
maybe in another lifetime.
But that's important for us to bring that up, that like, we didn't know each other, and just to kind of, one, to share our connection as soul sisters, but secondly, how easy it was for her to get on a call with me. So just share like what that experience was like. Cause so the people that are out there right now listening or might watch the replay and they're like, I don't know, Jenny. I might've watched one of her videos or her stuff popped up with me. I got an email from her. I don't know her. So just share for somebody out there who's like, I'm thinking about doing a consultation, or I don't know, Jenny, like just if you could share for a minute what that experience was like.
Yeah, totally. I mean, if you don't know Jenny, you will. She's the easiest person in the world to get to know. She's an open book, which I love. And, for me, I already felt like I knew her because her heart is so open, and it's the pure intention of love and helping people heal. There's no, she's a safe person. So even if, you've got nothing to lose in a 5-minute conversation. I mean, I think our conversation probably turned into being a lot longer than 5 minutes, but I do because it's, that is a big thing for people. I mean, I felt very comfortable just opening up to you about, my story, all the healing I've done and recovery work. And I'm a recovering alcoholic and addict. So that has been something that I've, been healing and trying to grow out of all of that. And I mean, this stuff is just like, it just takes everything to another level. I said to her the other day, it's like therapy on steroids. It's like talk therapy on steroids, right? Because it's like you get to do the full gap. Like you get the body healing, the energy healing, the whole thing. Like it's not just what's going on between the ears. It's the emotional healing and everything. And it really addresses the whole human.
I love that.
Heals on a really deep level.
Yeah. I love how you said that. One of the words that I like to use that I recently started using in January is soul work. And so you have the shadow work, right? And that's kind of in conjunction with the soul work. And to your point, the healing that we do is on all levels, right? So it's spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, and you are going to heal your heart chakra, your anahata. You are going to heal what we call your atman, which is your soul. And that's why we call it soul work, because it goes much deeper. And even if you've done talk therapy, if you've done other coaching programs, you're the perfect candidate. And then we've had other people who are newer in their healing journey, and maybe they've not done talk therapy yet, and maybe this is how they start their healing journey. But I would say most people have already tried other things and they're wanting to go deeper into their healing.
Yeah.
I did want to take a moment, by the way. We've got some folks that are joining here. I think Christina is one, but actually someone says she's in North Carolina now from Alaska. So if you can let us know, we can't see your name. Patricia is here from Colorado. Welcome, Patricia. She is actually one of our new YTTs.
Yay!
And I see some other folks are on the line. So when you join us or you do the replay, put #replay and put your name so that we know who's here. Awesome. I am going to put the consultation link in the comments for those of you that do watch this or that are joining. And it's wisemindsoulwarrior.com/book. Okay. So we have openings this week through the 29th, which is Sunday. So our doors close on Sunday this weekend. So I have booked time between today and Sunday. I literally have booked even into Friday evening over the weekend if you can't schedule something this week. So just FYI, I don't normally do one-on-ones except during these open periods. So just know that I'm opening my schedule, that I normally don't do. Okay. So we talked about you joining, we talked about us connecting, we talked about the consultation.
Well, the consultation call, do it. Just don't think about it. Just do it. It's a few minute conversation. It's easy, no pressure, no drama, no nothing. Just an easy conversation, getting to know like the nicest human on the planet. So it's very easy. Not scary.
Well, and you know what, like you said, and we do this call also for me to kind of gauge where you are in your healing journey, right? Because it is part of the application and enrollment process that we're wanting to see, are you ready to step into this, right? And so I'm going to talk to you about, what are you struggling with? Like, for example, Lindsay, she was going through grief and the passing of her mom, which is just like, I can't even imagine like the level of grief, but other students that might be suffering with depression or anxiety, or somebody like Lindsay mentioned in recovery, or if you're just dealing with like the inner critics and some scar patterns or relationship patterns that you're wanting to change. So some of the inner critics, like I'm a recovering perfectionist. I know Lindsay is too.
Yes.
I'm a recovering workaholic, taskmaster, imposter syndrome, comparing myself to other women, and I have changed all those thought patterns. I now love myself unconditionally. I accept myself. I have, quote, real, authentic confidence that comes from a place deep in my soul that it takes a lot for me to rock me now, right? So there is, of course, different things that might trigger me because we all have wounds, right? And that's where our wounds are our wisdom and our pain is our purpose. However, I will tell you 90+% of the time, I am not triggered and I am not rocked and I'm able to stay calm in the chaos, even in the middle of a global pandemic. So I'm here like raising my hand, sharing that these tools that we teach you in the program, they work.
Yes, they do.
Work for stress and emotional resilience as well.
They do. They work for me too.
Yeah. And I know like Lindsay is such a good, you're such like an A student. So above and beyond. Like Lindsay is amazing with like watching all the videos, and she's constantly sharing and doing all the exercises and the sadhanas and the asanas. And you've done such an amazing job, really. I mean, this like diving deep into the content and really like honoring and respecting it. And I'm so grateful for that because you have gone all in. And I mean that.
Thank you. Well, to me, this is the most important thing that we can do because I feel like, this is next level healing, and we have to do that next level healing because I feel like where we are in the world post pandemic is next level. So we're next level, like pain. So we got to do next level healing. So like this, I feel like this is it. This is the time. And it's time to get serious and get into doing this work because this is really like, I feel like the whole point is. I mean, that's just my personal belief, but
no, absolutely. And I'm right there with you, girl. I mean, you know that, I thank you so much for sharing. And I'm always so grateful for your kind words and your encouragement because I truly do come from an authentic place. I really do want to help people. And that's my true intention. And I really want to share these things that I've spent over 10 years now studying and going through this transformation and healing myself.
That's right.
So I know that it works. And I've seen it with hundreds of students, and
it works.
And so I did want to mention this too, whether you know right now that you want to be a yoga teacher, like if you're looking to do a more advanced certification, or whether you're not going to be a yoga teacher, right? You may not know if you're going to teach. This is still a program that will benefit you. And I know, Lindsay, you can talk to this because we have corporate women in the group. We probably have it's somewhere between 50 and 75% of the women in the group are also working outside of the home in addition to doing the training. They're working full time, like at a corporate job. Lindsay is a stay-at-home mom that has 3 kids, that she is like the CEO of her house. And she also is building her own yoga and wellness business. And so that is definitely something that we like to lift teachers up because we have a whole module on the business of yoga and also connecting to your why, your sankalpa, and your purpose, right? Because you have to be really, really clear and aligned of what that purpose is. So you're taking soul aligned action and you're not just kind of like shiny object syndrome and not really getting, not taking your purpose into action, right? Because you can't just meditate about it. You have to actually take the action to get it done.
Yes.
So that's part of what we teach you in module 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm in it. I'm in that module.
You're
I'm
in
that module, and I'm doing some of it, but I'm 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. So I'm getting, it's starting, I'm ramping up. I'm starting to be able to be in that doing place of like, I'm teaching, but I'm trying to balance because I'm still learning so much. So I only want to teach what I know well, because I don't, so, but I do know some of it very well. So that's some of it is what I'm teaching. So
love it. Yeah. Lindsay has actually started working with clients one-on-one, which is what I used to do. That's where I started, was doing yoga psychology coaching and doing small group classes of, 4 to 8 week programs. And so you evolve, right? So a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, Lindsay will be ready to teach other things, right? In addition, as she heals further and evolves more, right? Because all of us as humans and as teachers are constantly growing and evolving if we're doing our inner work, because the inner work and the shadow and soul work is a lifelong journey. Healing is a lifelong journey. Right. Anyone who says otherwise, it never stops, right? Yeah. And it's not a bad thing. It just is. So if we kind of lessen our expectation that, if I do this one thing, right? If I do this, then, no, it's a lifelong journey, period. Okay. Yeah.
Totally.
So Christina is sharing, because Christina has also joined, that she started doing yoga and she is starting to feel calmness, which is amazing.
Yay.
Girl, you don't need to worry. She said she's worried already about finishing the program. No stress. Remember,
it's so fun.
Yeah, you have lifetime access to.
Yeah, and you're gonna love it. It's so fun. It just enriches your day, your life. It's like it's so nice. And what it's brought into is that dimension of awareness for me. And I can kind of see how, like, when I'm doing the like while doing the YTT training, you're watching how it's unfolding in your life. And so, and it's really, it kind of just throws this like other dimension of like miracle on your life. You're like, wow, this is amazing. So you're going to love it. It's gonna be great.
Girl.
Welcome.
Thank you. So as speaking of the LMS, let's just take a quick minute to kind of share with the learning management system, the module, the handouts, the done for you handouts that you get, which I did want to mention. Anyone who's looking to do coaching or looking to do exercises with students off the mat, where you're looking to do journaling or yoga psychology sessions, you will have done for you handouts that you will be able to use with those students and clients. So that's important for me to mention, because that's different than a standard YTT. So same thing with workshops. You will have workshop handouts. For example, I can think of one off the top of my head is one of my favorites, which is a meditation workshop, which is the 3 most common reasons why students don't start or maintain a meditation practice. Okay, so take a moment, with working with me within the private Facebook group, doing the lives, the manual, the LMS, the mentorship program that we have. Take a minute to just kind of share the framework of the program and what you've experienced there.
The framework. Okay. So there's daily sadhana practice. There's yoga practice. So no, not daily, sorry, weekly, right? Isn't that how it's like a weekly. So you have a sadhana practice to work with, a fresh flow of some type to work with. Then there's teachings. There's a weekly teaching. You've got the manual that you have for like to reference if you are gonna do like a deep dive and study. The worksheets, there's like so it's like a weekly thing. So if you set up in your life like a couple of hours a week to put in, whether that's an hour on a Saturday afternoon or an hour to show up for the teaching, however you want to work it into your life, it works out so that it's like flowing in with your life, and it's self-paced. So if you miss a week, like I had COVID. So if you miss a week, you could just catch back up whenever. And there's nobody telling you're late. Oh God, you don't have it. Nobody's chasing you or micromanaging you. We're grown ass women here. We can run our own lives, and we know what we're responsible for. So
yes. Well, thank you for mentioning that too, because that's important. That I did also want to mention with the mentor calls and the practicing, that's required in any YTT. So if you're going to get a certification on any YTT that's Yoga Alliance certified, which we are, you have to practice. There is no pass fail, so you don't need to worry about that. And as Lindsay mentioned, it is, on your schedule of your accountability, but you also have support along the way, right? You have a mentor, you have a small peer group, you have the Facebook group, you have touch bases with me. So the point is, you have the autonomy and the flexibility, but then you also have the support and accountability as well.
I think it's the kind of, you get out of it what you put into it kind of thing. Yes. And that's with everything, right? It's like, it's just like any kind of program. But if you do the work, it will pay back. And it absolutely works. If you do the meditations, if you do the journaling and you do the writing, and it's what you put in. So it's totally up to you what you get back out of it, but it's hands down, like extremely the most thorough YTT. It is so thorough all the way. Not a I not dotted or T not crossed. Like everything's included. It is.
Well, girl, I will say this too. I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I mentioned the Done For You handouts, I did want to mention this because when I take you all through module 1, right, and I take you through the foundations of yoga psychology and the shadow work and the soul work and the self-discovery process and the inquiry, we're going to go deeper into that. So even if you've already feel like you've done self-inquiry work, it's meant to go deeper into that discovery process so that you can really connect your authentic self, who you are at your core. That includes inner child healing, but also identifying, what samskara patterns and what things do I want to release, and where are the wounds that need to be healed. Now, the piece that I want to mention is, because if I don't tell people this, they won't realize that the handouts and the process and the framework that I've given you all, I literally have handed it to you. I spent over 5 years creating that framework, that when I sat down with a student one-on-one, I've given you guys all those handouts.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. Which took me 5 years to build that. I've given it to you.
That's amazing.
So my point is, like, the value of what you get out of this, whether you're just going through it for the women in the group that are corporate women that may or may not teach, or someone who is a yoga teacher and they want to get a more advanced certification, or they want to integrate yoga psychology and do more things off the mat with their students. I'm giving it to you.
That's wonderful.
And I did also want to mention, because I've gotten this question a lot, when you are done with a certification, you're going to be able to teach breath work. You're going to be able to teach all different types of breath work. Okay. I got on a call with a counselor yesterday, and we were talking about pranayama prescriptions, right? So pranayama for depression, pranayama for anxiety, pranayama for stress, pranayama for whatever, right? Mindfulness, talking about neuroscience and cognitive behavioral change, emotional regulation skills, taking somebody through like healing a samskara pattern or family of origin, root cause work. So that's just a couple of the things. Okay. Teaching somebody like a detox cleanse process. So the point is, I could go on and on, but this is beyond a standard yoga teacher training. You're going to have a lot of different things that you're going to be able to teach once you have that certification.
I would say that as yes, well said. It is definitely beyond a standard at the amount of content, and it's so deep, and there's so much. It's so rich. It is just.
Thank you, girl.
Amazing.
Well, I want to take a quick minute, 2 more things. One, I want to talk a little bit more about healing your inner critic. So if you could take a moment, so that's one of the samskara patterns that you and I have in common is the perfectionist, or any other of the inner critics around the imposter syndrome of who do you think you are, the taskmaster, the overachiever, and I mentioned the imposter syndrome, the comparison, comparing yourself to other women. Of which of those, there's like the top 4 inner critics that we've seen with most women, including myself. which of those can you relate to, and which of those do you feel like you started to heal in the process of being part of the program?
Ooh, good one. Well, let's see. I just would say I am definitely a perfectionist. I'm a tough judge. I judge myself, so I'm so gentle with everyone else, but when it comes to looking at my own work or my own stuff, it's like it can get really I can be really harsh. So yeah. So what I've learned how to do in the last year is just there's just some space between that thought and my reaction. So what the awareness has taught me is the space, right? And in that space, I can pause, breathe, notice, and instead of because I used to take the spiritual teachings and actually beat myself up with them, which was just so ridiculous. So now I don't judge myself for judging, right? So now I'm not beating myself up for beating myself up, because that doesn't feel nice either, right? It's like, geez. So now it's more like, okay, thought that come, the space, I notice, I breathe. That's interesting. Wow, isn't that interesting? And just kind of get curious about it and just sit with it and just say, okay, I'm going to love that girl, right? I love that girl who is just so hard on herself. Bless her.
Bless and release.
Bless and release. And I let that go. And I'm like, oh my goodness, give that girl some grace and like treat myself the way that I would treat you, Jenny. Or I would treat any of my, people that I love. And, but I think the biggest thing is that awareness is being able to be an observation mind and watch the thought arise and know that the thought is not the fact. The feeling is not the fact. The thought comes up. I'm empowered now to make a choice. What am I going to do with that thought? Yeah, I don't really like the way that thought is. That doesn't align with my new purpose and the new person that I am. So I can change that. So, I mean, an incredible amount of freedom, big time.
Girl, I want you to preach. Like, that is amazing. It is so cool to sit back, and I'm so honored again to be part of your healing journey and to just watch you transform and step into your power and step into like your leadership and your teaching skills, because it's just such an honor like to sit back and hear you share these things, really.
That's awesome. You've been an amazing teacher.
Thank you. And I think that that's a great example, Lindsay, of you sharing about being able to pause between stimulus and response, and also to be able to train our thoughts and emotions. Because Christina, that's an example of, we don't need to worry about getting the program done. The program's going to get done in the time it needs to get done. So that's a great example of like not putting those, we're putting power on those thoughts, right? We don't want to put power on fear, on doubt, on anxiety, right? Worrying about things before they happen. So the point is, you've got the 6 months of support. And in addition to that, you will have forever to finish all the videos. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not going to pass fail if you don't watch all the videos. So you don't need to stress yourself about that. We will be very specific on the syllabus about what is important to be covered and the other things you can get to when you can. Okay. So don't stress about that, please. That's the last thing that we want you to do.
No, don't stress. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. The teachings are so interesting. I mean, it's fascinating stuff.
It is. I mean, it all is fascinating.
It's fun.
Every time I get to research about talking about something new, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Just like studying about the perfectionist, right? So you and I shared about, us both being recovering perfectionists. Well, when I did research for the Inner Critic Challenge, guess how many pages I found in all the research I did on the perfectionist?
Oh gosh.
20 pages.
Oh my goodness.
Collected on just for one day in the challenge.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I mean by I'm a recovering perfectionist.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's fascinating to me. And so I love the work that I do. And I truly am a lifelong student. And I get that excited about what I'm teaching. I'm that passionate about it. So it's kind of poking fun at myself, but at the same time, that's how passionate I am about it. Like, I'm like, well, maybe I could teach 4 days on the perfectionist, you know, but instead, clearly we took 1 day on each. But that's kind of an example of, you know, when you're passionate and when you're in that soul aligned action of like, okay, this is what I'm meant to be teaching, then, you know, you become a vessel and the higher power takes over. And it's like, boom, you are just a vessel and you're showing up with the message and you're showing up with your story. And that's it. Right. So it takes away the fear and the doubt and the judgment and the imposter syndrome, because you're like, you know what? I'm in alignment right now. And I'm not going to worry about what anybody else is saying about me. I'm not going to worry about any other judgments. I'm just going to show up and speak my truth. And that is it. And if you are in alignment with your soul's intention, nothing else matters. Not what anybody else says behind the scenes. None of it matters. Only you are living your purpose.
I love that.
Boom, drop the mic. Okay.
Drop the mic.
Okay. So one last thing.
I love it.
One last thing. I just put the consult call link in the comments. This is the last time I'm going to do this. Okay. So wisemindsoulwarrior.com/book. You can go right to the consult call page. The second option is wisemindsoulwarrior.com. Go to the information page. There's about 6 places to schedule a consult. I'm going to repeat this one more time. Today until Sunday, May the 29th, that is when we're doing these consultations. We are also offering a special $1,500 bonus for a 14-day detox that you're going to have me for 14 days guiding you through that detox and gut cleanse. Okay. So if you missed it yesterday, book a call today through the 29th. So today through the 29th. Okay. So one last thing, and we're getting off here, girl. All right. So someone who's sitting there and they're listening to this, or they're watching the replay and they're considering joining the WiseMind Yoga Psychology School, or they're thinking about getting on a consultation and they've been sitting back watching these videos, or they watched one of my videos or got an email or whatever it is, what would you tell that student that is thinking about getting on a call or think about joining the program?
Thinking about it? Someone who's kind of on the fence?
Right. They might be on the fence.
Just have the consultation call and explore. I would say explore that. What is that in you that's stirring around going, that's nudging you? You know, I think it's like what I've learned here is listen to my body. And when my body is nudging me to do something, it's time to do something. That's the nudge. Answer the call. Step in.
Right. Do the thing.
Yeah, do the thing.
Yeah.
And when I don't do the thing, the nudge just sits there, and that becomes that restless, irritable discontentment where I'm like, oh, I don't know what's wrong. I'm just uncomfortable. But truly, I'm trying. I'm in a place of expansion. I'm trying to expand out. So if that's the nudge, go do. Expand. It's time.
Girl, that is thank you so much for bringing that up, because you just reminded me of the hero's journey, right? Of answering the call.
Yeah.
So if you feel called, right? If you're feeling any type of pull, like Lindsay just said, or just interest, like what's yoga psychology, or I would like to heal this pattern, like whether it's, you know, showing up in relationships, or it's showing up in your business, or it's showing up in your career. 80% of our success is psychology. It is the inner work, and only 20% is strategy. Yes. So if you have not done the inner work, you're not going to show up the way you could for your students, for your business, as an entrepreneur, as a mom, as a partner, as a husband, as a corporate person, a career person, whatever it is. If you've not done this work, it will directly correlate, and it will show up in every area of your life.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the only thing I want to add to that is that we can't do it alone. We have to have a guide.
Yes.
We don't know how to do this stuff. So that's why you gotta have the teacher, right? The teacher, you gotta have the teacher, the guide, and you gotta have the community. We need each other. We need the community.
Yeah. You know what, girl? So 2 quick things. Okay.
Yeah.
One, I did want to mention this with the consult. One other reason why we got on a consult, because I have many different payment plan options and investment options, from pay in full options. Some of them have payment plans to payment plans and everywhere in between. So I want to make sure I mention that, because I've had a few calls this week where someone was like, I almost didn't get on a call because, I was worried about being, the investment and this and that. Well,
Right.
I'm here to figure out as best that I can on your particular budget how I can make this work for you. Because if you are ready to answer the call, if you're ready to do this healing work, I don't want the finances to be a reason that's going to hold you back. So I will do my very best to try to come up with a customized plan. And I know Anita and Archana and Chrissy and other people in the program have shared their experience. That I 100%, this is not just, talk. I really do try to work out a plan for people, which is why we can't put 15 different payment plans on the page. And I also mentioned earlier that I'm here to figure out where you are in your healing journey. And are we a good fit? And are you a good fit for the larger group? And are you ready to step into this transformation? So that's really the main reason also why we get on a call. And if all that aligns, then we're going to talk about the finances, right? So that's the main reason for us getting on a call. No pressure from me. I'm here to be a guide and a teacher for the people that are ready to step into the transformation, right? Yeah, and when you're ready, you will feel it and you will know. And I'm just simply going to be a guide here to be a mirror to talk you through stepping into that journey. So the last thing we're going to talk about, because I almost forgot, is I want to just take a quick minute for you to share about the retreat last year, to share about the fire transformation ceremony.
Oh my God.
And this is
so cool.
The things that you let go of at the retreat, which I almost forgot for us to talk about that.
So I let go of the I am not enough samskara pattern. I am not smart enough, pretty enough, whatever, enough, anything. Fill in the blank. That was super powerful. It rained and we stayed out in the rain with the fire. It was amazing. And gosh, that was such a powerful ceremony. Really felt connected. It was really beautiful being there with the other women. God, is it the Prana Institute? What was it called?
The Prana Institute. And this year we're going to be at Lake Junaluska, which is also in Asheville. And that's about 30 minutes from downtown Asheville.
Yeah.
So it is a beautiful, and Lindsay will be there. Lindsay will be one of our helpers and one of our leadership yogis. And literally this place is completely surrounded by mountains, Lindsay.
Oh my God.
So surrounded by mountains, and also this giant man-made lake in the middle. And the hotel is the equivalent of a 4-star hotel that we're going to be staying at. It's a modern, renovated hotel. And they've got a pool. They've got tennis, golf, canoeing, kayaking. They have a 4-mile thing that goes around, trail that goes around the lake.
Yay,
they've got Blue Ridge Mountain hiking 15, 20 minutes from there. Yeah. The point is, it is a true retreat location. You do have the option to choose vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, dairy-free. So they do have dietary restrictions that you can choose. Last year, it was more focused on 100% vegan and 100% clean eating. This year, you can at least give dietary restrictions. So this is really about, we're also going to be doing yoga outside. So we have 2 beautiful spots on Saturday and Sunday. We'll be doing yoga outside. Friday will be inside, and then we're going to have this beautiful bonfire. So we're going to be having another fire transformation. Yay. But this time, somebody on the property is going to build the fire for us.
Okay.
Go up and light it, assuming it doesn't rain. And so this is going to be a true bonfire.
Okay. I'm excited.
So get ready for your fire transformation ceremony, because we will be writing letters again that you're going to release. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So get ready for that, because this is meant to be an immersion, and we will be integrating yoga psychology, exercises, and journaling into all the other things that we're going to be doing. So I do want to mention that. But yes, I was so proud, like such a mama bear. And you've heard me talk about this. Like, let me hold on. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So I wanted to share this.
Oh, yes.
So this is the crystal sword that we used last year, and I'm going to bring it again this year.
Good.
So literally we had women, you see pictures of women holding this. Also, I have another kind of instrument that I use, but literally the whole, like holding it up, right? Like you're basically naming it and you're claiming it of what you're releasing. Yeah. So this is going to be coming back to Asheville.
Yay! That was so fun. That was really, really cool. I mean,
cannot wait. But anyway,
just beautiful. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful weekend. You brought it, girl. I mean, you showed up for us in a really, really big way. Really.
Well, thank you. I am so appreciative, and I'm so grateful. And so with that, again, you all have the book a call page. And again, I'm so Patricia is sharing that she booked her flight this morning.
Yay! I can't wait to meet you.
She's coming from Colorado, so I cannot wait.
Yay! I can't wait to meet all the new people in the group. Yeah. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have such an awesome time together, y'all. You're going to love it.
All right. Well, I am going to let you go because we were trying to keep this.
Thanks, Jenny.
We were trying to keep this to 30 minutes and it went over. So again, I'm so honored. And I'm so grateful to have you as a student, as a mentor.
Thank you.
I cannot wait to see what you do with the rest of this program. Like, it's going to be like, I'm so excited.
Thank you. I'm excited.
And I will see you all soon. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Okay. Thanks, Jenny. Love you. Bye. Bye. Bye, ladies. Hope to meet you soon.